There are many interesting facts about the Earth inhabited by millions of people from various countries. Earth, which has been inhabited for billions of years by living things, in fact still has many mysteries. The fact of the Earth is not even known by humans themselves. The desert is one example. The arid part of the Earth is not a desert. This fact is not entirely correct. Then what is the most arid place in the world? There are 10 interesting facts about the Earth that not many people know. At the beginning of the creation of the planet Earth, wandering alone in space before 4 billion years ago, until a giant asteroid named Theia crashed into planet Earth. It is the same size as the planet Mars. The collision caused part of the Earth to detach and become the Moon that is widely known today. Rock samples collected by Apollo 14 astronauts in 1971 from the lunar surface are the oldest parts of Earth, according to a study published in the journal Earth and Planetary Science Letters. Research from an international team of scientists reveals that the sample contains fragments of ancient crust that scientists believe may have formed deep beneath the Earth's surface. The researchers found the rock was composed of quartz, feldspar, and zircon, which are very common on Earth, but very unusual on the Moon. The researchers concluded that a large comet or asteroid hit Earth and launched a rock from Earth into space, where it landed on the lunar surface about 4 billion years ago. On the lunar surface, the rock is then mixed with other materials into a single sample. Actually, the shape of the Earth is similar to the shape of the skeleton of a human skull, where there is a slightly protruding part. This is evidenced by differences in gravity in certain parts of the Earth, one of which is Hudson Bay in Canada. Our globe, however, is not even a perfect oblate spheroid, as mass is distributed unevenly within the planet. The greater the concentration of mass, the stronger the gravitational pull. The shape of the Earth also changes over time due to various other dynamic factors. The mass shifted within the planet, changing the gravitational anomaly. Mountains and valleys appear and disappear due to plate tectonics. Sometimes meteors create craters on the surface. And the gravitational pull of the Moon and Sun causes not only the tides of the ocean and atmosphere, but also the tides of the Earth. The Moon that you see almost every night is apparently not the first and not the only moon that has ever circled Earth. Millions of years ago, Earth once had more than one moon, conclude the results of recent research by scientists from Israel. Scientists say that the Earth used to consist of two moons colliding with each other, where the small moon hit the larger moon, until the small moon was destroyed. This is evidenced by the shape of the craters on the surface of the Moon. Astronomers say the second moon orbiting Earth was likely 1,200 kilometers in diameter. Could have formed from the same collision between a planet and an object the size of Mars that is thought to have helped create the Moon we see in the sky today, some 4 billion years ago. Moonquakes are not only caused by tectonic activity. An example is when the Apollo missions detected about 11,000 lunar earthquakes that occurred 800 to 1,100 kilometers below the surface of the Moon. That Moon earthquakes of this depth were the result of Earth's gravity pulling on the Moon's interior. This pull is similar to how the Moon's gravitational pull on Earth's water causes tides. Earth and Moon both have a gravitational attraction. Because the Earth's gravity is stronger, earthquakes often occur on the Moon. The earthquake was not felt by the Earth, but had an impact on the Moon. Deep in the earth there are 200 million tons of gold. If collected, the gold covers the Earth's surface with a thickness of 600 centimeters. If shared for the entire population Earth, each person could get at least 4.5 kilograms of gold. Scientists believe all the gold we have used so far comes from outer space. Gold is formed when a star explodes in space in a phenomenon known as a supernova. After a supernova occurs, the material that makes up gold is still in the form of gas and dust. The material then solidifies into a planet, one of which is Earth. In the past, the Earth's landmass had been united before being divided as it is today. The unified lands were called Pangaea. Then the Pangaea continent split into two, namely Laurasia and Gondwana, and then split again into 7 small continents. In the next 250 to 300 million landmasses will reunite and be named Pangaea Ultima. Monitoring the movement of the Earth's plates, scientists believe at some point in the future all of Earth's landmass will coalesce into one giant continent. At that time, hypothetically, people could drive from Australia to France and on to South Africa without crossing any seas. Scientists initiated this conjecture by referring to the analysis of the movement of the continents. In fact, Everest is not the highest mountain in the world. There is a mountain named Mauna Kea in Hawaii, is 4,205 meters high when measured above sea level. The surface of the mountain is mostly under the sea. However, if measured from the seabed, the height of the mountain reaches 10,203 and is much higher than Everest, which is only 8,848 meters. In the Hawaiian language, Mauna Kea means White Mountain. Its snowy peak is a destination for skiers and snowboarders. Its location near the equator makes Mauna Kea a popular place for astronomical observations. This mountain is also far from air and light pollution, so it is the right location to see the solar system. No wonder Mauna Kea is the home for 13 telescopes. If you still think the desert is the most arid place in the world, that's not entirely true. In fact, the most arid place is the dry valley of Valley in Antarctica. For more than 2 million years it has never rained in this valley. In addition, the land in the dry valley is as barren as the planet Mars. Dry Valley was formed as a result of the movement of katabatic winds traveling at 200 miles per hour, which evaporated all the existing water content. Surprisingly, this valley is the only place in Antarctica that is not covered in snow. Located in the transantarctic region, and facing a mountainous area that causes evaporation, or sublimation, in that place to be higher than snowfall, causing all the ice to disappear, so that all that is visible is a barren plain. Earth's surface is known to be mostly water. However, not all water can be consumed by humans. 97% of the water is in the sea and it tastes salty and cannot be used by humans. Fresh water on Earth is only 3% and not all of it is liquid. Some form ice called glaciers, but of the 3%, 2% is frozen water in the North and South Poles. The remaining 1% is not all clean and only 0.62% is fit for consumption. Today, about 2 billion people live in areas that are at risk of water scarcity. Meanwhile, 2/3 of the human population faces water shortages for at least 1 month every year. From the Neoproterozoic, about 550 million years ago, to the Jurassic, about 180 million years ago, there was the supercontinent of Gondwana. The center of this supercontinent is Antarctica. The continent of New Zealand, also known as Zealandia or Tasmantis, is connected to Antarctica. Between 85 and 130 million years ago, Zealandia separated from Antarctica. After separating from Australia about 60 to 85 million years ago, Zealandia began to sink. It is estimated that Zealandia completely submerged about 23 million years ago. Those are some interesting facts about the Earth we live in. If you have new information about our Earth, let's share knowledge in the comments column.